Living in peace is about living harmoniously with yourself, others, and all sentient beings around you. While you will find your own meanings of peaceful existence and outward manifestations of a peaceful life according to your beliefs and lifestyles, there are some basic underpinning living in peace that cannot be overlooked, such as being nonviolent, being tolerant, holding moderate views, and celebrating wondrous life. Understand that living in peace is both an outward and an inward process. Defining peace is not such a simple thing, but one simple way is to define it as living without violence and living in a way that embraces respect and tolerance. This is both out in the world and within each person. Outwardly is living in peace of life in which we respect and love each other in spite of our cultural, religious, and political differences. Inwardly, each of us needs to cultivate peace. This means understanding and overcoming fear, anger, intolerance, and lack of social skills that causes violence. For in continuing to ignore the rage within, the storm outside will never subside. Seek to love, not to control others. Ceasing to seek power over people and outcomes in your life is the first major step to living peacefully. Trying to control people is about seeking to impose your will and reality on others. But by doing so, even with the best of intentions, this forcing your will on others takes away the power from others and causes a great imbalance, which can lead to anger, hurt, and resentment. A controlling approach to relationships will likely keep you in conflict with others. The healthy alternative is to seek to understand others before attempting change, tolerate peaceful difference, and use persuasion and leadership in a way that inspires others. It does not mean being a doormat or a pushover, or one does not stand up for oneself. It means building relationships rather than trying to overpower. Peace before power. Gandhi demonstrated that power based on love is more effective and permanent than the power gained through threat of punishment. Learn the skills of negotiation, conflict resolution, and assertive communication. These are important constructive communication skills that help you to avoid or effectively move through conflict with others. Not all conflict can be avoided, and not all conflict is bad provided you know how to handle it skillfully. If you don't feel that you have enough skills in these forms of communication, read widely on ways to improve them. The clarity of the message is always vital to ensure peace, as much conflict arises out of misunderstandings. When communicating with others, seek to avoid we are filtering their problem from our own experience. It is far better to respect the other person's intelligence and simply be there for them, instead of trying to impose your experience as the answer for them. In this way, you will cultivate peace over resentment, respect over trivialization of their viewpoint, and confidence in their intelligence instead of insulting them. Moderate your convictions. Thinking in absolutes and holding to convictions without ever considering the viewpoints and perspectives of others is a sure way to live a life without peace. This type of extremist thinking usually leads to reactive, hasty, and driven behavior that lacks the benefit of reflection and deliberative thinking. While this may be convenient because it allows you to act with the confidence of absolute conviction, it blocks out other realities in the world and can easily lead you into conflict when other people fail to agree with your convictions. It's harder work to remain open-minded and ready to review your understandings, yet it's more rewarding because you'll grow as a person and live in great harmony with those around you. Moderate your absolute conviction by always being ready to question and to reflect. Accept that your beliefs, faith, passions, or opinions are but some among many other beliefs, faith, passions, and opinions in the world. Follow an ethic of moderation that values human dignity and worth. Follow the one true absolute, which is to treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. Find a variety of things to do in your life if you're finding yourself slipping into immoderate stances about other people. It's hard to be immoderate when you are busy doing a range of things and seeing a wide range of people from all walks of life. Cultivate your sense of humor. Humor is a peace lover's disarming charm. Few fanatics are ever humorous because they're too busy taking themselves and their cause too seriously. Humor allows you to release tension and to show up the repressive tendencies of extremist thinking. Be tolerant. Tolerance in all that you think and do will make a difference in your life and in the lives of others around you. Tolerance for others is about appreciating diversity, the plurality of modern society, and being willing to live and let others live too. When we fail to tolerate others' beliefs, ways of being, and opinions, the end result can be discrimination, repression, dehumanization, and ultimately violence. Practicing tolerance is at the heart of living peacefully. Rather than jumping to negative conclusions about other people, change your own perspective and nourish the good in others. In changing your perspective of others, you can initiate change in their own self-perception. For example, instead of seeing someone as stupid and incompetent, start calling them intelligent, effective, and clever. This will nourish them and encourage them to live up to the good you perceive in them. Seeing others as interesting, special, and caring beings underneath their bravado, anger, and torment can bring about a great change for the better. Be peaceful. Gandhi said, "There are many causes that I am prepared to die for, but no cause that I am prepared to kill for." A peaceful person does not use violence against another person or animal. While there is much violence in this world, make a choice to not let death and killing be a part of your philosophy of living. Whenever a person aims to try to convince you that violence is okay, stick to your beliefs and politely disagree. Realize that some people will try to goad you by insisting that you are undermining people involved in situations of conflict. You know is not true, and that it is a skewed vision that values conflict, which leaves many people dead, orphaned, and homeless. The former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mary Robinson, said, "My experience of conflict is that those who are involved in it long for even a day of peace, to have a day of cessation of violence. That to me is an idea whose time has come. Be bolstered by the reality that violence is not something even those involved in it want, and that peace for humankind as a whole is a valid wish to hold." To be peaceful is to be able to act with compassion towards those who are violent. Even criminals deserve to know how compassion works, yet when a society incarcerates and tortures and enables violence in our prisons and in our hearts, we are the equal of those criminals. Seek to demonstrate the principles of a just and fair society, and from this set the example. Avoid violent movies, news reports of violent acts, and music with hateful or degrading lyrics. Surround yourself with peaceful images, music, and people. Give serious consideration to vegetarianism and veganism as your future way of sustaining yourself. For many peace lovers, violence toward animals is not conducive to living a peace in life. Read widely on the way animals are treated in the farming, hunting, and pharmaceutical industries, and about vegetarian and vegan lifestyles in order to settle your own beliefs in other sentient beings, allowing the understanding you gain from this research with your living peacefully. Reflect. Reflection of thought is important. Many a hasty response has resulted in a tragic outcome because time to think through all of the issues and angles has not been taken. Naturally, there are times when fast action is essential to ensure safety, but these times do not excuse the many other times when reacting with care and consideration will result in much better outcomes for all concerned. If someone hurts you physically or mentally, do not react with anger or violence. Stop and think. Choose instead to respond peacefully. Ask the other person to stop and think and tell them that anger or violence will not resolve the issue at hand. Simply say, please don't do that. If they resist to stop, remove yourself from the scene or situation. Just stop yourself. When you feel like the need to respond to something in a manner that portrays your anger, frustration, or irritation, tell yourself, stop. Remove yourself from a situation that is bringing on confusion and inability to reflect. By bringing yourself the space, you will have time to overcome the initial anger feelings and replace them without your unthoughtful solutions, including not responding. Practice reflective listening. Spoken language is imprecise, and people under stress often say things that mask the real things they'd like to say. John Powell said that in true listening, we reach behind the words, see through them to find the person who is being revealed. Listening is a search to find the treasure of the true person, as revealed verbally and non-verbally. The importance of reflective listening to living a peaceful life is that you stop seeing people purely from your perspective and start trying hard to dig down into what another person is really saying and meaning. This can lead to effective give and take rather than reacting according to what you think you hear by inferring and guessing. Seek forgiveness, not revenge. Where does an eye for eye lead to? Usually to many eyes missing. Pointless and self-perpetuating, giving history lessons we know better, no matter where we live, what religion we practice, or what culture we cultivate. At the heart of everything, we are all humans with the same ambition and aspiration to raise our family and to live life to its fullest. Our cultural, religious, or political differences should not provide the backbone to invoke conflicts that can only bring sadness and destruction to our world. When you feel compelled to harm another out of a perceived slight to your reputation, or because you feel that their action deserves an equally abhorrent reaction, you perpetuate anger, violence, and sorrow. Replace this with forgiveness to seek the way of living peacefully. Live in the present, not the past. Should have been, and reliving past hurts will keep the negatives of the past alive and bring constant internal conflict. Forgiveness allows you to live in the present, to look forward to the future, and to let the past settle gently. Forgiveness is the ultimate victory because it lets you enjoy life again by making peace with the past. Forgiveness lifts you up and frees you from resentment. Forgiveness is about learning to cope with the negative feelings that arose as a result of the act that made you angry or upset, and you learning by acknowledging those feelings rather than burying them. And in forgiving, you empathize with the other person, leading you to understand what motivated them, You don't need to agree with what they did, just to understand. Even when you feel forgiveness cannot be given, there is no cause for violence. Instead, distance yourself and be the better person. Find inner peace. Without inner peace, you feel in a constant state of conflict, trying to fill your life with possessions or improving yourself, but social climbing without ever stopping to value your inner worth will leave you perpetually unhappy. When you crave something and you don't have it, you're in a place of conflict. It's easy to forget to be grateful for what you do have when you are constantly striving to upgrade your possessions, career, house, and life. Equally only, too much stuff will create conflict and prevent you from living in peace, because you are always at the beck and call of the needs of your possessions, from cleaning and maintenance to insurance and security. Living in peace means more than living in the absence of violence. Try to cultivate peace in all areas of your life by reducing stress as much as possible. Avoid stressful situations such as traffic, large crowd, when possible. Live in joy. Choosing to see the wonders of the world is an antidote to violence. It's hard to be motivated to violence against that which you see is beautiful, wondrous, amazing, and joyful. Indeed, the greatest despair rising from wars comes from the destruction of innocence, beauty, and joy. Joy brings peace to your life because you are always prepared to see what is good in others and the world, and to be grateful for the wondrous aspects of life. Do what you love. Life is more than your job. While your job needs to be something that ensures your livelihood, you also need to fulfill your life's vision. That hand has this guidance. Do not live with a vocation that is harmful to humans and nature. Do not invest in companies that deprive others of other chance to life. Select a vocation which helps realize your ideal compassion. Decide for yourself how far to take the meaning of his guidance and seek work that helps sustain a peaceful life. Be the change you wish to see in the world. That isn't just a commonly referred to sayings of Gandhi's, it's a call of action. And there are a number of proactive ways that you can become the peaceful change you would like to see in the world. Include change yourself, be part of the solution, join and participate in peace one day. Take to other people about their views of peace. Make sacrifice to help others, bring harmony to the world. Broaden your understanding of peace. You're free to choose your own path. Everything you read in this saying is but suggestion. It is not to be followed as a dogma, it is not seeking to impose itself on you, and it may be found as wanting as any other series of suggestions you care. At the end of the day, living in peace will be your own conscious, daily action founded on your own strivings and understanding, gleaned from all corners of the world, from all people you've ever met and known, and from your own consciousness and knowledge. Go forth in peace. Keep learning. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.